Hi, good day to all. Welcome to Bettery Labs, doing it better together. Well, as you know, our key focus is for business owners to come up to our platform, our live chats, to share about the importance of transforming and about growing their businesses, sharing their experiences, and so on. And today being a special day, May the 4th be with you. It's a Star Wars day. It's an exciting day. And as we know today, we have a very special guest, somebody I think a lot of you would be familiar. We have Coach Vanan, who's actually the founder for Fitness Mantra, a very passionate guy when it comes to both fitness as well as living healthy. So without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Vanan to come up on our chat. Hello, Vanan.
Hello, bro. How are you?
All good, all good. How are you?
Busy as usual. Getting
Oh,
there.
all right, all right. I mean, this is not the first time we have come together on a chat, and now today is going to be quite exciting because Vanan, I've listened to you talk about fitness, about health. In fact, you do your own live chats, copy with Vans, where you bring in experts from the fitness industry, the health industry, and so on. So I think you've been engaging, and today will be the first time I believe that you will be going to talk about the
Yeah,
importance of business transformation. So more about your
that's right.
business. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just a brief introduction. Coach Vanan is the head coach as well as the founder for Fitness Mantra. It's a fitness company that he actually founded, and he has been in the industry for 20 over years. He has started being an personal trainer, and he started from ground zero and worked himself all the way up to what he is today. Well, he has a reputation of being a very tough coach, but the thing is that being a tough coach, I've also have a lot of testimonials that he has been a very effective personal trainer and a coach. So he has helped numerous people out there, to live their dreams of being healthy, not just having a good physique, but to live healthy. So without further ado, for those of you guys, as we go on, feel free to engage head coach Vanan. Any questions, please join us. Please ask questions. Engage him. All right. With that, yes, Coach Vanan. It's always an honor, and it's always fun to actually have a chat with you. So maybe let's just maybe about yourself. Tell me about yourself. Your business, your journey behind your current success.
Thank you for the humble introduction. I mean, I'm very humbled and blessed. Thank you for inviting me to give a talk on this particular topic that you bring in. I really appreciate that. Just to talk a little on the, I mean, everybody has a story, but if the story comes as an experimental, then I think it might not be very genuine. But if it comes through your experiences, then I think you have every emotions to discuss of how the downfalls and how was the success. So going back to my storyline, I did my. I'm not into fitness at all. Back in about 20 years ago, I was more into the marine engineering. So I was there and I was about to sail in ships. And but at all this time during my younger days, there's one thing that kept me very alive and very energetic is I'm always involved in sports. So you name it, and I do it. I'm the only Indian at that point of time to join Lion Dance Group. I done scuba diving, sailing, canoeing. So anything to do with the sea or anything to do with sports, I'm always want to be the first one to be in it and get involved. So
Okay.
if you look at the educational wise, it's never been great. I always be in the field of sports. So my parents have noticed that the talent that I have is not more about educational, but it's more on outdoor activities, fitness. So I love doing trekkings, climbing mountains, and all that. So I was in various sports group at that point of time, and that point of time, that's where I wanted to go into marine engineering life, where I love the sea, so I want to be a part of it. But then something was telling me at the back of my mind that no, you are supposed to do something that you loved for. So I always wanted to do something that I always loved for. So I thought, let's get myself involved in the fitness industry. So that's how my fitness industry journey starts. That's about 20 years ago.
Okay. Interestingly, if you talk about it, I mean, somehow or other, this thing about fitness, about sports, about it's always been there. From what you share, if you were involved in sports and if you were involved in enjoying, I've seen a lot of times, you are one person who loves to just enjoy the nature, trekking. I've seen a lot of posts where you've been to Nepal. So I think it is something that is within you. That you enjoy, and well, so we are clear to say that you never joined the fitness industry because it's an accidental move, but it is something within you. So Vanan, yeah.
So back then it was my girlfriend. Now it's my wife. So we know that when you join the industry of the marine, especially on shipping lines, then you have to be away from home like months and years. So that is a point where I was telling my girlfriend back then. So my wife now. So I said, hey, what shall we do about it? And she said, just do what you feel like. But I think if you do join the marine industry, then it's going to be missing a lot of family time and social time with families in Singapore. So she's the one, in fact, one who recommended me to join. Back then, it's called California Fitness. So it's a mega gym back then, one of the most popular gyms back in 20, 30 years ago. So I joined as a rookie because I have zero experiences in terms of trainer. I don't understand what is cardiovascular. I don't even know basic exercise program because I know I do exercise and all that, but I don't know the theoretical. So that makes me very keen to learn and move ahead with the future and see where I can improve. So I think that the dying for hunger, I can say the hunger for success was very much burning already back about 20 years ago. So that is what kept me going, still keep on burning.
Yeah, but interestingly, I mean, 20 years ago, you started as a fitness personal trainer, with the gyms, like what you say from California Fitness. And I believe you would have moved on, built yourself up. But, what made you want to become a business owner? Because I've talked to numerous business owners, including myself, having the passion for fitness, having the passion for that, the love to help people to be fit, is one thing. But to start a business, it's completely another thing because you are running a business yourself. So, what inspired you to start your own business itself?
Actually, that's a very, very interesting question to ask me because I love to answer that. Because I think it is, like earlier, and I told you, it's not something that experimental or it just came as a surprise or even for the matter of luck. It doesn't happen that way. It's pure hardship. When I joined the fitness industry, we were only given tasks to clean the equipment. So we were actually basically cleaners instead of trainers. So every 3 hours, we have to go around the gym. We got to sanitize the gym. We got to clear the weights. And that's our pure duty. I mean, because that's what you are supposed to do because you're not certified or you're not even qualified. You don't even have the basic certifications to train clients or train people. Because when you talk about human life, there is no price to it. So you don't want to do any accidental issues or even some injuries. So we wasn't allowed to train back then. So we were only supposed to do cleaning. So you have to master the art of cleaning. So it actually happened all from ground zero, and then it slowly start to progress to you went for the test, you went for the exam, and it's still up to right now. Sakti, I want to tell you that it's still an upgrading process because the moment you think that that's it, I've learned, I'm the master, that is the self-destruction that you're doing to yourself because that's going to be a biggest failure because you got to keep on learning as days goes by, and you got to just think that you're just a drop in an ocean. It's just a drop, but there is so much of information. Every day informations are emerging in terms of fitness, in terms of health. So we got to keep on evolving ourselves to new technology, new education, to upgrade ourselves so that whoever within our circle or whoever to the people, they are always benefiting it because we're sharing the sessions with them. So I think education is one part, but I think keep on learning is also another part, which I will strongly suggest there.
Okay, so the fact that I'm sure that when you decided to go into business, definitely I'll come into this part where we are talking about continual improvement, to unlearn and relearn. But in terms of being a business owner itself, I'm sure you were aware by then that being employed, being under a specific gym in your industry, or being taking on an appointment under a company is way much different when you become your own business owner. When you have your own company running, the risk involved. there would have been a lot of concerns. Now, what made you want to take that step to go forward and say, look, I will be the next one running my own company, and that's it. No more boss. We had a conversation before, informal one. So maybe you want to share why that step.
It all happened about 5 years back. So I was with California Fitness Mega Gym for almost about close to 17 years. And why kept me going there for 17 years, even if the company is still around, I think I probably will be still there. Because every day when I wake up, the first thing, I don't feel I'm going to work because it's something, a part of me. It's something that I need to be there. So even if you look at holidays like the Deepavali or the Chinese New Year, I need to be there. I need to be at the gym because I always believe that I'm there to save someone's life or I'm there to attend to someone who needs me. And of course, as responsibility came in, we took some roles that requires our expertise and our experiences and our presence to be in there to managing the gym. So that makes me more dedicated and more, I'll say, more passion. So I don't feel like I'm working. So that kept me going. Then suddenly something had to happen, right? Good times won't last for long, but then probably it's going to be a greater time. So the blessing came in. So the company that I worked for was liquidated. So it's closed down. It was under a major transformation. Immediately overnight, almost about 100 to 200 of our staff lost their job, and all was off. So that was a time that was a time that a bigger a light that just glow on top of my head. It's like, wow. But what is the best thing here I'd like to share is the past 16 years of the experiences, whether is it a challenge, is it a kind of obstacles or office politics or the way of things to get done, certain things. Working in a MNC company, it's always full of politics because sometimes our ideas doesn't work towards the company's channel or the company's energy. So all these so-called tips or skills didn't happen when I wanted to implement because there's so many channels. Even if you get first approval or the second approval, third approval, it's just an hassle. So all these tips and challenges, which the ideas that I had, I have to keep it into my storage tank.
Okay.
And that storage tank was actually filling up. And probably it was time to overflow. And that is the time the blessing came in where the company got liquidated. So I can two choices at that point in time. I can look at it as a failure and I take myself, you know what, this is the time to shine brighter than ever. But having said that, we need to have the resilience, the determination, the confidence, and the humbleness to make it happen. So I took myself 2 months non-stop planning out, strategizing how to get things better than the previous. And one more time, I told myself that I'm going to make things greater for sure. If it's going to be a failure, good, because you are learning. If it's going to be success, keep on learning. So there's no stoppages for growing. There's no stoppages for failure. Even if you fail, it means try harder. It doesn't mean you are got to stay in the ground. So with that kind of attitude, I just pushed on without any break. And I got to say, every hard work or every energy or sweat you put in, you're definitely going to see some kind of growth.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. It's going to happen to everyone, but you got to be keep on charging ahead and make the resilience and the nice, correct judgment at point of time to make it happen. So these are the little things that I went through that I'm sharing right now.
No, but interestingly, I think there's a very big similarity in why we are here today and how you started Fitness Mantras. I believe that Fitness Mantras started because there was a challenge where you were facing. In fact, many others like yourself, when you see that your company liquidated and that's it, you had choices to look for another company in the same industry, or you had a choice to, like what you said, you had a lot of ideas, and these were the ideas that you couldn't so-called, put it in action, and now you had the chance to take control and do it yourself. But of course, so long as you know that being a business owner, the risk, you are willing to take the chance to mitigate those risks, put it in place. So it became more. Am I right to say that Fitness Mantra started with adversity, a challenge, and from there, it became an opportunity for you, where it's like time to move on, time to do what I always wanted to do.
The reason for that particular question you asked me is as a deeper meaning to it. Why I choose Fitness Mantra is fitness as a main core business. But at the back of it, I put it as a mantra because I want it to be something universal. Every mantra, I mean, everyone has a mantra, whether in terms of religion, in terms of your character, in terms of your goals. So you have a certain mantra that you want to do it. So when we say mantra, people always associate with that to the Hinduism, but actually not true. A mantra can be any mantra that you have it in yourself. It's just like a powerful prayer that we can also use it for any kind of groups or any kind of people that we have. But behind that particular word, that when I started, there was a lot of naysayers. There wasn't a lot of people who believed it. People were saying that no, this might not happen. But you see, for me, rather than praises, I prefer criticism, and I prefer non-believers. I need people to talk opposite way of how you should be happen. Because to be very honest with you, those who are praising you, especially your loved ones or friends, whoever they are, I mean, definitely there's blessing is there. But we also must take the blessing in consideration of those who don't believe you, because they are giving you some kind of energy to you, saying that I don't believe in you because you will not make it,
Yeah.
because it's some kind of motivation. So I took them as positive as well, and I keep them as well. And moving ahead, I noticed that if I don't get that kind of criticism, or even the kind of any kind of negative energies, I feel a bit demotivated. I'm like, I don't want the people to tell me that this works. I want people to tell me this can't be work, because then I can make it better. So if
Yeah.
you come and tell me, Vanan, oh, good, good. So it's like more like the ice in the, feels so cool. I want something like go ahead, let's
Yeah,
keep on doing it.
someone to challenge you to say, sure, one, and can you do it? Are you sure?
Yeah,
So it becomes more of converting that criticism into an action plan. It motivates you to move on. The burning desire to say, hey, it can be done. I believe that is one reason why I think we can connect and we can talk long hours on phones,
that's
or
right.
because I'm a strong believer of that. If you don't have people who don't believe in what you do, or says that that you will not be able to do certain things, I think there's no kick in life. There's no challenge. So in a way, challenges becomes these challenges and these naysayers becomes more of our power makers, our fuel for us to achieve. So now we know the fitness industry is a very competitive industry, definitely. And it has always been, I mean, at least for my experience, I always know fitness industry, especially, it is always about personal touch. Whether it's personal training, or so on, is always personal touch. Now with the current situation, right, we have already finished close to a month of the circuit breaker, and we are embarking onto the second half of it. So what were your challenges, especially in your business, especially the fitness industry? How did you overcome, what are the challenges you face, and how did you overcome them? Because I see you conducting a lot of Zoom online videos, engaging clients, people to be fit. So how do you actually manage these challenges?
A very interesting questions that you have lined up for me today, because I feel that it is very essential to share as much of information we can to people out there who ever want to learn and move on, or maybe take it as an advice or tip. So you see, in our daily lives, if you look at it in a daily day-to-day lives, we have lots of challenges. So even before this COVID-19 has come into our life and take control, we do faces lots of challenges on a daily basis. So all these challenges are just a little barrier. So if you're driving through a car park, and if the barrier is not opening, there's two choices you can do: call for help or break the barrier. All right.
Yep.
If
Yep.
it's an emergency situation, all right, it's life and death situation, and you need to go. You keep on pressing the help, the barrier is not opening. What do you do next? Can I ask you that?
Well, I mean, if you got to do anything possible to keep myself safe and move forward, then just do it.
Of course, we don't want to break the barrier, but at least we want to come out and pull up the barrier, which we can, all right? In
Yeah.
certain emergency situation, you can do that. Of course,
Yeah.
it's been recorded. You might have to go and explain yourself why you do that to the authorities. But so same thing. When situation puts you into a place, there's two things you can do. Either you take control of the situation, or the situation take control of you. Most
Okay.
of the time, we spend 90% of our time thinking of a problem rather than the solution. So the solution is always push it to the corner, where you have a 20%, 10% of solution and 90% of the problem. It's never going to be an issue. It's going to be always be an issue. So when COVID comes, before it start coming in, I've already saw the trend. I already saw the pattern and saw the styles. things are getting a little intense as day by day goes in, because if you look at it, our current government, they are doing a fantastic job. I got to say that, even though I'm not a biggest or greatest supporter, but I got to say that because they are doing everything they can. But as us, what are we need to do in our daily lives for our loved one? We need to do the precaution. So I told myself, okay, let's do a starter kit program. So when this starter kit program came in, I've already prepared all the necessary equipments and necessary staffs for all those who are going to be in a circuit breaker training program. So I call this a starter kit program. When I created the starter kit program, I've already delivered before the COVID kicks in, or even the CB kicks in, the circuit breaker. So all my trainees and all those organizations and corporate companies, whoever I'm linked with for businesses and talks and events, just grew up instantly, because they have all the tools, they have all the necessary equipments and essential informations. Because this essential information means my website, my virtual cameras, my setups, my organization was all ready to go. Wow. So that is the time that another part of my new businesses, or rather a new company formed up. It's called Copy with Vents, and that's where it kicks in as well. So it's pretty. That's the thing that I'd love to share this with you before I hand over to you. Before a war comes, you can't be sharpening the knife. You have to sharpen the knife before the war comes. So that's be related to the army. I'm not sure. You have to be polished up. Probably that be expert in that.
It's quite similar, you know, when we used to say, not relatively just only the army, like, you know, when you do something and, you know, people used to say you are lucky, you are in the right place. But actually the truth is you are lucky only when preparation meets opportunity. And I think what you were doing, I still remember we met up in Decathlon.
Yes, that's right. That was one of my programs as well.
Yeah, so when you were in Decathlon and we had a chat, and we've been like talking about having a chat the longest of time, you know, I'm talking about just personal chat itself, and we couldn't meet up because we were busy. And you know, when we met up, what happened was that, you know, I could see that you were getting the starter kit. I was like, hey, you know, what is this guy doing? You know, he's getting starter kit. Why? You know, why would he be doing that? And now that you talk about it, yeah, you know, you already foresee what are the challenges it's going to be, and you already started preparing. And I think that's essential for all business owners. You know, another side of you, where you started preparing this stuff, you know, the equipment. I think it was basic equipment, you know, that you are getting, you know, simple things that can be used. In fact, I was like following on your chats, you know, Copy with Vans, where you are sharing about how you can actually use basic household equipments to still, use it for your fitness regime, your exercise. So there's no reason for you to say, I can't keep fit. And I think these were very innovative, simple, but yet innovative, you know, using resources that were available. So yes, I do agree. Sharpening the axe or sharpening your knife before you go and embark onto combat is important. I mean, army saying is simple. I mean, be prepared. Anything can happen anytime, you know. So in that perspective, yes. But you know, it's quite unique. You are in the fitness industry and you engage your clients. And then, you know, I think you are one of the first few. I'm safe to say. In fact, I was inspired to start my chat. We had our first chat. I had my first chat with you, and then I was telling, hey, look, you know, I want to start this. You know, what made you want to start this Copy with Vans, where, you know, I see you engaging not only fitness experts, but you engage, you know, numerous health experts in the health industry, you know, cardiologists, psychiatrists, a lot of people who can advise people on how they can take care during COVID-19, a lot of health issues. You know, people who are, you know, sharing a lot of tips on how to live healthy, not just being physically fit. So is this one of your plan to transform your business online? Was this something that was in your pipeline?
Actually, it's all happened in form of blessings, because it all happened that 4 years ago of how I started Fitness Mantras. So if you currently look at the social media is just purely about informations. Can be either be fake or can be original, or it depends on the sources that it's coming from. But there's a lot of uncertainty in our daily lives at this point of time, even though the circuit breaker is going to be, you know, getting much more easier or ease as the weeks comes by. But the initial stages, a lot of people went through a lot of depression, a lot of them went into anxiety, a lot of them having issues. Routine was, I think we talked about the earlier time when we meet up, we talked about routines, even the food habits, sleep pattern, And also domestic violences is starting to happen because people never stay at home as much as what we ever been in our entire life. So when we talk about H1N1, the MERS, the Ebola, and SARS, so all these were just temporary, but not as how quite severe like these came up, as how COVID-19 and the economy has been affected. People are losing jobs. So I saw a lot of issues happening at the same time, and things when congested all at one time, people that's when loses their mind and possibility of becoming insane. They make quick sudden moves, and you can see anxiety. So I saw a lot of issues that can happen during this period of time. And I was having a chat with my wife and said that, what, I need to do something. All right, during crisis is the time you can either melt up or you shine brighter ever in your life. But I will always in terms of giving back to the society. There's nothing much that we can bring it back at the end of our life, all right? From cradle to grave, it's just a journey. But during this journey, what is your impact to the society? Are we just going to share negativity? Are we just going to share hatred? Are we going to share jealousy? Definitely not going to be like that. All of us have to go. Of course, there are some characters who's a bit, kinky and a bit, but that can't be a choice because that's what makes the world. But having these experiences in the past, told myself that it's time to bring it back to the society. So, and in fact, the Kopi events was, I wanted to make it as chai. Chai is the like a
Tea, yeah,
masala tea.
yeah,
Yeah, my
yeah.
wife said, hey, you should do something in base of like Asian, Kopi. I said, that's okay. Let's keep it Kopi events. That's it. I had this the way I'm making decisions. I don't like to ponder. I don't like to spend weeks and weeks and weeks and months now. If someone tell me that's gonna be done, okay, let's prove it. Let's do it. All right, that's the kind of attitude. When I think that this is going to make it an impact, just do it. So there's no procrastination. Decide, get it done. So that is where Kopi events just came in instantly. And right now there's a lot of doctors, experts, and all kind of stuff that we are talking about right now. Now the season that I'm talking right now, because of COVID, is all about health matters, because this is our most important and valuable piece of equipment or piece of gift that we got. So we need to maintain at the highest level. So when the situation changes, then we got to change the topic as it goes by. But for now, it's all about health, from mind to body to soul, breathing, exercises, everything about wellness.
So, I mean, quite interesting. You see, just by your sharing on how Kopi with Vans came about, I realized that it was an on-the-move transformation. Sometimes businesses, I use this analogy. When a ship is in storm, the captain has two choices. Head back all the way to the harbor, and then slowly replenish, do the repairs. But this takes time. Or you can decide to wait there and make use of whatever resources and help you can get to you as soon as possible and get ready. So the moment you know that the storm subsides or it's a better situation for you to move on, you start moving and you make the necessary changes on the way. So in this case, I think transformation is not only about sitting tight and planning, but it's also about continuously being able to move or to change on the move itself. And I think that's how Kopi with Vans came in as well. So I think this is something that I realized was it's very important for business owners to be able to be adaptable as they move on. And I think this is something that is definitely important in terms of current COVID-19 situations where there's a lot of uncertainty and consistently there are a lot of things changing. Now, Vanan, maybe it's not a question. Maybe I just realized something about you is we did talk about this before I talk about the learning part. Now we did talk about value proposition, how to continue delighting your customers, and you have shared a lot of examples. And quite something unique about you that I realized the value proposition is that you don't just talk to your clients about just being fit and so they can take on your services of personal training, but you actually also teach them and encourage them to live healthy. You tell them, look, prevention is better than cure. You be healthy. In fact, some of the initiative you took is because you foresee that there could be even a certain level of depression, anxiety, and so on. So you use fitness as a way of getting them to relax their mind, and I think this was something very awesome. I mean, I personally felt that doing something that allows you to sweat it out and feel better. It's something that many people do it and they find it useful. And actually, you brought it in, and the message was very strong during that period of time. So in this case, how do you now, delight your customers, still deliver your value proposition with those challenges where you can't meet them personally, but how do you delight them? What else do you do? So now you have Copy with Vanan. Do you still do online sessions with them to get them to, do fitness trainings and so on?
So right now, virtual training has taken place, because now the way we work before and now, and maybe in the future, is going to be changed. Even I can assure you one thing, that even though if COVID is dislodged, or even if it disappears, I think this virtual fitness has become the next, rather a trend thing. Virtual fitness has been around for quite some time. People do a lot of training through virtual, but in this uncertainty period, when situation puts you in a very difficult movement or moments, when you try to implement something and you notice that, wow, this implementation is so much better than ever before. So there was clients like, in the past, like, oh, I don't have time, I'm rushing, I got to bring my dog for a walk, I got to get the bicycle repaired, or kind of, daily life challenges they have. Right now, it's all zero, because if it becomes after COVID, post-COVID, you still can do online training. So if someone says, hey, Vince, I'm busy, let's do an online consultation, or let's do an online training program. So that becomes very on the comfort zone, but at the same time, it gives you an opportunity to explore and implement it even further. Because right now, you look at it, the room now becomes like a virtual room right now, with lights, with cameras, with 4 cameras, with keyboards, with sound system, streaming. So it's a bit of investment that we do. But at the same time, if you look at it, I think this is something that we should keep on and moving ahead. And a number of people that I talk moving ahead, home office is way much more better, because they can save their dollars. Number 2, they can work in the comfort of their own home. So which means that you don't need to move around and kind of stuff. Only move around when you are necessary. Because you see, we are now been so comfortable with this current situation, or rather a little comfortable. But of course, when important meetings or certain contracts, if you need to go out, then of course you have to go out. But I think for myself and for the businesses that I operate, that I think this virtual fitness is something that has to go on, and I think that it will carry on even after post COVID, because I saw the trend way much more easier. And for some reason, if let's say if some of my friends or even clients or ex-clients, anybody, or corporate organizations, when they have an inquiry, all we do is just let's go into virtual. So now when we talk about virtual, everything is all combined together. So my website, my Facebook accounts, my pages, even my virtual fitness is all connected. So it's all very virtually connected, and it's easier to explore and get messages across and get things done easily, right?
So interestingly, now that you talk about virtual and the transformation, because we realized when COVID-19 situation happened and towards the circuit breaker, suddenly there was a big surge. Where a lot of business knew that, hey, we need to be digitalized, we need to go virtual. And right now, it's one of the highest level where you see a lot of engagements, which is through online, through virtual. Now that things are getting better, day to day, when I see the number of cases, it's getting better. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be the end of COVID-19 situation anytime soon, but I think slowly, we can expect businesses to be opened again, and things will be getting back to normalcy over time. Now, do you think that even though, we can still meet our clients face to face and so on, will there be a case where we will still see the big change in the landscape of businesses that we are, especially in your industry, fitness industry? Do you still think there will be any specific change in the landscape itself? Now we'll be expecting Vanan to come in soon. I think there is a bit of technical difficulties. All right, so. Yeah, let's meanwhile, while waiting for Vanan, I think there should be some technical. Let's see whether if what are the questions. Hey, hi Jackie. Jackie actually came in, and he actually asked a couple of questions. Now, one of the questions that we have from our viewers, anyway, for those of you who are online and joining us, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We will be having Vanan joining us soon. Yes, he's coming in.
Yep.
Hi, Vanan. Welcome back. No worries, no worries.
Went for a quick toilet break, loo break.
Oh, that was really fast. In fact, I was just taking this time to address all our viewers who joined us. Thanking a few of them. For joining us. Right. So going back, just let me repeat my question. In terms of now that Vanan, we know that the online was on the high, and right now things are getting better. Do you think after the post COVID-19 circuit breaker and so on, do you expect that the business landscape to be the same, or do you think there will definitely be a lot of changes, even though you still can go out there and meet people and so on?
As much as we want to have sugarcoat answers, but sometimes I prefer it to be straightforward, because
yes, please.
One of the things that taught me previous employment is you can't be very straightforward. You have to be very indirect. So whenever your answers to your bosses or to people, to managers, you always be indirect. But that actually taught me in a different way. So nowadays I'm like straightforward, but of course try to be in a way that it reaches out the message. But some might like it, some might not like it, but that's how the world is. Things are going to be changed for sure, because the people that I talk to, they have lost confidence in gyms. I got to say that a bit disappointed, but rather disappointed, because it's about enclosement. But I think it will take some time to develop that fear. So because the clients that I spoke to and the people that I spoke to saying that they prefer it to be outdoor. They prefer it to be outdoor in the atmosphere pressure. But having said that, we also know that certain exercises have to be done in enclosed area, like gyms, dumbbells, certain exercises. But most of these exercises can be also be modified to bring it out of the gym. So when I started Fitness Mantra, it's all about outdoor training. And maybe gym concept is maybe about 20 to 30%, or maybe 40%, because if a particular individual wants to have certain developments, then we go to the gym. All the trainings are done outdoor. I know the importance of gym training and the importance as well training in the outdoor. So again, it depends on the individual. So right now, the confidence that I'm getting from is that they prefer to do it outdoor. We know for the fact is, we need some kind of muscle resistant programs. So we need to go back to the gym eventually. But I think it will take a period of time where people need to gain back the confidences. So it will take some time to come back to the normal range. But till then, we all need to follow the rules and regulations of what we have been doing right now. Because if you notice that right now, we are all following the norm. It's become like a part of our life right now, like talking to each other, the way we work and move things. But in order for the economy to move, we need people to spend, we need people to go out, socialize. That's how the economy will grow, people to travel. So eventually this will take place, and that is where confidence will come. So I think it all times.
So I will. I mean, in one way, I can say that a lot of businesses, a lot of businesses will be will need definitely to change the way they are doing things, even though they feel that they are back on norm, where we can still meet people. They should be prepared that there will be a certain level of change in the landscape, and they should still be preparing. In fact, we can say that this is the period where they should start planning for the transformation of their businesses, even for the future, in terms of how they can go about value adding to their customers and transforming in terms of, and it's supposed to be more towards a long sustainable business plan rather than an immediate solution itself. And I believe that's not just only for the fitness industry. I think many industries, I mean, for example, I'm closely working with the financial planning industry, the insurance industry. We talk about the fitness industry. We talk about the training industry. I think there are many industries out there who will definitely be, will see that the landscape have changed. And I think definitely they will need you to, so-called be able to tell us or start working towards that. Now we have All right, we have a Zaid Kemal. Thank you so much, Zaid. I think he's quite excited with the recent changes in the climate. No worries. I think there's a lot of anxiety, Zaid, but the important thing is you need to keep calm, and you need to ask yourself, how is it that you can go about doing things in such a way that you can actually transform your business and so on. All right, we will move on. As of now, I think, Vanan, we talk so much about your services and everything. Now, there are a lot of viewers out there, all right? And definitely, they will be looking for opportunities to, to engage you, to talk to you, to talk about, how they can actually, learn about some of the initiatives you've done. So how do you think people can actually engage your services? And first of all, maybe we can start with what is unique about your services? What do you think is things that your clients can expect from you?
It's nothing much compared to just get wellness fixed up. Nowadays the training is all conducted more on a very holistic approach. So, but then of course, then time to time we also have different inquiries, but that also depends on the kind of comfortability and location wise. But most of the time right now it's all outdoor training programs that we are conducting at this point of time. And we also have existing clients that has been continuously supporting, and that's been the biggest blessing. And right now, if you look at it, one of the part that I'm currently engaged right now is also constant engagement of talks. So doing a lot of seminars, a lot of webinars, and also a lot of talking, in a group where a panel of discussions is happening right now. So I think now as we evolve, there's a lot of challenges in terms of getting information right out. So to make it simple, exercises or any kind of varieties that we want to do in our life, even for any businesses, I think the most important thing is to understand the value or the passion that you have for that particular job. So because if you can identify that, and if you put your heart and soul into it for learning, then I think any businesses that you want to do, it will be very important, or rather you find it pretty smoother to complete it. So if you look at even for the fitness industry, the number of years of experience that I have gathered is through just learning on each and every day. So if you don't understand certain things, you've got to go back, look at theoretical and come back to practical, just to get yourself equipped with the necessary knowledge so that you can actually move on. So I think that is the most crucial services that we have right now. It's always evolving and learning. So mind, body, wellness, breathing. It's a very holistic approach to talk about it.
Okay, so in this case, I can specifically actually go past they can actually reach you through your Fitness Mantras website, or for those of you who would like to have a chat with Vanan. But of course, when I say chat, ask questions. But of course, you can always ask him for advice. You can have an appointment with Vanan to see how you can go about improving your own fitness and so on. Of course, or you can also I can just show you a snapshot of Vanan's website itself. Quite interesting. When I took a look at his website, the first thing that that I liked about your website, Coach Vanan, was Fitness Mantras is about let's get moving, take action. That's the first thing that it gave it me. And the thing I like about your cover is actually skipping. That's one of my favorite exercises.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's something that I love, and I like this part where you talk about what seems impossible today will soon become your warm up. Now, I think this is something very powerful. It's a clear message of how progressive training can get you to do things that you never thought it was possible. And I think that is something very powerful. So you can actually take a look at the Fitness Mantras website. I think they have a lot of initiative there. Or you can call Coach Vanan. I mean, till today, I have a lot of discussions with him on how I can go about, improving my fitness. And not long ago, we even did a magic towel video together, to talk about how it was in our Facebook, of course, initiative by Coach Vanan himself. It's like, let's do a video, let's do a video, a fun video with a group of friends who can actually talk about why, doing fitness, simple exercises at home. It was quite fun. In fact, I enjoyed taking the video with my family. My kids, my girls were there and they were quite excited. So, yes. And Vanan, do you have any word of advice for business owners, who are looking to transform their business, or who are currently engaged in our live chat? Any specific advice or suggestion you like to give them?
You got to repeat that question again, bro.
Okay, so any word of advice for business owners?
Can you repeat that question again, because I lost you?
Okay, cool. Now, any word of advice for business owners who are currently engaged in our live chat? Okay, we have Vanan. Yeah, again, another short technical break. He will be joining us soon. All right, so while we are waiting for Vanan, who will be back,
I'm back.
soon. Oh, you're back. Okay, cool. Yes, welcome back. Okay. So the question is, any word of advice for business owners, who are currently engaged in our live chat?
Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can. I can. Yeah. Can you see me now? Good to go.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Any word of advice, Vanan, for business owners?
I think the most important thing that we need to do right now is to stay composed, and also to understand, because as the situation changes, because there are some real pressing issues for business owners, especially to pay their rentals, and the expenses are there for sure. But the other side of the coin is, of course, things are going to be getting better for sure. But
Yes.
it's just that we are now in a very difficult economy at this point of time because of COVID-19, as the recession period also has started to slightly taking off. And if you look at all the sectors, even the airline industry, the food and beverages, or even if you look at the frontline service, where we're talking about taxi drivers. So if you, I think what is most important is resilience, and of course there's much help coming in, but of course for some it might not be sufficient, because everybody is in a different situation depending on their commitment level to their businesses. But I think one of the most important things that I always practice on myself is to be staying ahead and staying resilient. And we always need to plan ahead of what happens next. So now we're talking about COVID-19. What happens if another changes, another virus comes in? Will you be able to handle that? Over the past 100 years, we look at it, there are so many viruses that came and went off just like that. And some are taken some lives away, some put it into a different recession. But this time, the COVID-19 has actually caused a major impact on all the businesses. In fact, every businesses we are talking about. So I think maintaining it, and I think most importantly, the wellness is at this point that then float at least for this period of time. So I think that is very important at this point of time. Staying afloat. I think staying afloat is the most important thing at this point of time.
Yeah, I think that's a well said one. Resilience and staying afloat, I think definitely is one of the key important for all business owners at this point of time. Yes, I think we have more or less come to the end. Thank you so much, Vanan, for sharing, and somehow or other the Wi-Fi was against us in between, but I think we still managed to go past that challenge and went on with our talk. So once again, thank you to everyone who joined us for this chat, especially, Coach Vanan, once again, admits your busy schedule, and I'm looking forward for your next Kopi with Van's talk. I think you have lined up something very, very special for a lot of us out there. So thank you so much. And so our next session will be on Thursday at 2 p.m. So feel free to join us. We will have another speaker who will be from the fitness industry. So he will be coming to share certain of his points in terms of the business challenges and the transformation needs and everything. So with that, thank you. And thank you, Vanan.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thanks again.
Oh, you're welcome, Vanan. You're welcome.